Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you desire and deserve? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, let's jump on in here. In your recent past, you have the past with the Seven of Cups. This is definitely an indication of a very tough period in your life. I feel like you are actually in the process of coming out of this period. Now, I'm not saying you totally feel that weight completely lifted or that the light has completely returned, but I do definitely feel like you're in the process of coming out of something very heavy. The Seven of Cups is the energy of, being overwhelmed, not really knowing what's next, what to do, kind of feeling lost. And I don't think, when we don't have all the answers, it typically means we're not supposed to have all the answers. And, I do definitely feel as you continue to move forward, things are going to continue to get clearer as you take those steps forward. Because in your current energy, you have transformation with the Knight of Pentacles. So I do feel like you're going through a pretty intense personal transformation through this process. And through that personal transformation, your life is going to transform too. As we change, our life changes. And I feel like it's happening a lot slower than you'd want it to. Like you're like, okay, I am so tired of this energy. Like I just want out of it. And that's kind of the way that it goes. It never happens on our timeline. But I do definitely feel like this is about, continuing to take steps in the direction of the life that you wish to create, in the direction of the person you wish to become, in the direction of your healing, your growth. And as you do that, you're going to get to where you're trying to go, because in your immediate future, you have abundance with the Three of Pentacles. And this very much is, to me, this energy of like the pieces falling into place. Everything you've kind of been going through becomes worth it, and you start to see the rewards of your resilience and your faith and kind of sticking to the trust that the universe is supporting you. Because, I will say, the closer we get to things working out, then the closer we get to being able to experience the good, the harder things get and the darker it starts to seem. Like it really is darkest before dawn. And as you're moving forward, if it feels like things are getting worse or it feels like things are getting heavier, that's actually a sign to keep moving in the direction, to keep taking steps forward. Because if you can commit to yourself and your path and what it is you're trying to create, just know that the commitment is the key to creating it. And it comes down to trusting the process, because the overall theme of this reading is trust. I talk about this every time I pull this card because I like this depiction so much, but you have this like black, light here, but then inside of it is, or not black light, but you have this darkness almost here, and then inside of it is this light kind of shining through, and it's almost like finding your light in the darkness, in the unknown, in the grief and the anger and the sadness and everything that you're going through. The light is that faith that even when it doesn't feel like it, and even when you're doubting it, like you are being supported, and the universe does have your back, and things are working out for you in a way that you might not be able to fully understand when you're experiencing that dark energy. So let's jump in, because that's just the overall energy. I feel like this is a pretty heavy reading right out of the gate, but let's see what we've got here. Recent past for Sagittarius, the past with the Seven of Cups. Knight of Wands, Four of Cups. I feel like this is this energy of feeling like no matter how hard you try, it felt like you couldn't like you couldn't get to where you wanted to be. You couldn't get out of this energy. You couldn't make things better. Almost as if every step forward you took, it felt like the universe set you back 10. And I do definitely see this like effort, this action. The Knight of Wands can be this energy of really putting yourself out there, doing whatever you can that's within your power. But then you have this Four of Cups, which is this energy of focusing on kind of the wrong thing. And I feel like what I mean by that is this energy of focusing more on where you're trying to get instead of the progress that you are making. Because I do feel like you've come a long way, and I do feel like you have a lot to be proud of yourself for, Sagittarius, but I feel like you're focused so much on how far you have to go that you're not seeing how far you have come. Because even though this energy is in the past, I still feel progress, and you might be like, I don't see progress in my life, and I get that, but the more progress that you make within, the more progress you are going to see in your life outside of yourself, the more that those pieces are going to fall into place for you. But I do understand how frustrating this energy can be, just feeling like your effort is wasted, your energy is wasted. No matter how hard you try to have faith, you try to believe things are going to get better, and it just feels like they don't. Recent past for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know? Yeah, literally, Eight of Pentacles in reverse, putting a lot of energy and effort into something, but not like seeing anything, like not seeing any rewards or any outcomes or any progress. And then you have the Judgment in reverse here. So this is a need to see the truth behind the circumstances. So this is the universe's way of saying there is a deeper purpose and a deeper reason to why you're going through what you're going through and why things have been stagnant. And I feel like I will say, going through, I look back at some of the hardest periods of my life. And I look back at them now with the utmost gratitude for those periods, because through those times where I felt like things were never going to get better, like I was never going to be happy or ever going to have the things that I wanted or desired or was working for, those were the times that I built the most amount of faith and trust in myself and in the universe, and the times where I learned the most and I grew the most. And through all of that, through learning and growing and, tapping into a deeper faith in the universe, is how I was able to create the life that I truly desired. If the universe just handed you everything you ever wanted without you having to kind of work through some pretty tough times, you wouldn't learn anything. Your soul is here to experience certain things so that it can evolve. And unfortunately, a lot of times that does involve experiencing some very dark, very heavy energy, but you are the light to be able to make it through that energy. So, the universe doesn't throw us anything we can't handle, even though sometimes it feels like we are never going to get through the things that we need to get through. It's almost like understanding that through what you've been through and through what you've been going through, that is what is created this inner strength and this inner confidence and this trust in something bigger than you that you can now take and utilize moving forward to create something, maybe even a life for yourself that you never would have been able to have if you hadn't have gone through the things that you have. So I am a firm believer in everything is happening for you, not to you, as long as you are willing to see things through that lens, which is incredibly difficult to do when you're going through very hard times. But I do feel like you will, as you continue to move forward through this process, you will start to see those things pay off. All right, what else does Sagittarius need to know about their recent past? Just feeling like you're not getting anywhere. I feel like this feels, you feel like a hamster running on a wheel, like just expending all of your energy, trying to get to wherever it is you're trying to go, but not really getting anywhere. Eight of Wands in reverse with the Five of Wands here. And I feel like, So much of the time when we experience things going seemingly wrong in our life, it really is the reflection of our insecurities and our limiting beliefs and our doubt and our fear. And we look at it as the universe putting us through this for no reason, when in reality, the universe is sitting on the sidelines cheering for you, saying, you can get through this, keep trusting, keep believing, this is just your limiting beliefs, this is just your fear, this is just, the things that you have learned to believe about yourself throughout your experiences that you need to break out of. Like, just trust that everything is working out. The universe isn't putting you through things just to punish you. A lot of times we have to realize that we attract into our life what it is we believe about ourselves. Whether we believe we're lovable or good enough or capable or deserving, or supported, or whatever the case is, that's going to be what we experience. Now, the problem lies in the fact that we've come to believe these things because of what we've experienced. When you go through enough things that make you feel like you are unlovable, not good enough, not supported, you, of course, are going to start to believe those things regardless of whether or not they are inherently true. So when we're, being faced with circumstances that make it feel as if like all of our worst fears, all of our doubts, all of our insecurities are being proven correct, that's the time that we are being given the opportunity to work through those things so that they don't have to be true in our life. Your life is whatever you decide it is. Now, the hard part is that we have to break out of the perception that we have of life based on what we've been through, because your trauma and the things that you have encountered in your life, those are not your fault. The things that have been unfair, the situations that were never deserving of, those things aren't your fault by any means, but they have deeply impacted how you view yourself, how you view the world around you, how you view what's possible for you. And sometimes when we experience some of that dark energy, it's really just the reflection of those beliefs coming to life, which ultimately is our opportunity to say, I am going to move through these with the faith that things are going to work out because I am deserving of good things, and the universe is supporting me, even if I don't fully believe it when I'm going through a lot of difficult times. So I don't know, I feel like what you're needing to understand is that it might not feel like you've been supported by the universe, but you're more supported than you think. It's just the way of understanding what that looks like, I feel like, is a little bit twisted in a way, but we'll see as we continue to progress. Current energy for Sagittarius, clarifying transformation with the Knight of Pentacles. What does Sagittarius need to know about their current energy? And another thing is sometimes we get so, and I think I actually mentioned this in the last Sagittarius reading that I did, if I remember correctly, and it was this energy of, sometimes we get so comfortable in our suffering because we're so used to it that we almost subconsciously start to choose it because it's all we know. We know how to survive, and we get so good at surviving that the idea of actually living in abundance is so foreign that we almost don't even, try to believe in it because it just seems like it's so impossible. And when that's the case, we kind of are not only fighting against the circumstances that we're experiencing, but also this inner belief that we can't be happy, that we can't be abundance, that things will never be better than they have been for us. So you have this Two of Wands here with the King of Swords in reverse. Whether or not you realize it, this path that this journey that you're on, this process that you're going through is getting you into alignment with the things that you want. Now, again, it's like you're fighting against this voice in your head. And it doesn't need to be a literal voice, but that's the way I'm going to explain it. This voice in your head that's saying, everything's only going to be nothing will ever be as good as it could have been or should have been or would have been. You're not good enough. You're not capable of. It's like you're directly facing your shadow side is what it is. The part of yourself that doesn't believe you are good enough, healed enough, lovable, deserving enough, whatever the case is. It's like you are actively working against that part of yourself. Now, a lot of times we will experience that part of ourselves in other people and in other situations that almost reflect that part of ourselves back. I have learned that there are two parts of me. There's a part of me that, this is the best way I know how to explain this, but there's a part of me that is unhealed, that doesn't believe that I'm deserving or capable or lovable, that lives in shame and in guilt and in darkness. And then there's a part of me that has done some healing and has done the self-reflection, has grown and has learned that I am deserving of good things and believes that I am capable and lovable and all those things. And in any moment in my life, especially in the tough moments, I have to literally make the conscious choice between those two people. And the more that I lean toward the version of myself that believes that I am capable, deserving, lovable, all those things, the more that it becomes more instinctive to lean towards that part of me. Now, this part of me is always going to exist. The darkness, the shadow, it's always going to exist. And I have learned to coexist with this energy, not to dislike it and not to try to get it to go away, but to love it and to understand that we have learned on some level that we can't have the life that we desire because of what we've been taught, because of what we've experienced, whatever the case might be. And that part of ourselves that doubts is never going to go away, but we have to learn not to allow it to make decisions for us. And that's what this part of your life is about. It's this inner transformation from, really facing your shadow, getting to know that part of yourself, getting to love that part of yourself and understand that is part of who you are. But that part of you doesn't have to dictate your decisions. We are getting deep and spiritual in this reading, so I'm hoping this is going to hit home for someone. But I do definitely feel like that's what this King of Swords in reverse energy is about. I realized for a very long time in my life, I was in a toxic relationship with myself. And it came out in my toxic relationships with other people, in my toxic relationships with my food, with my body, with substances. And I realized that all of those things were just a reflection of this relationship that I had with myself. And as I was going through some of the hardest periods of my life and I felt like I had nowhere to turn, I had to turn to myself. And the more I turned to myself, the more I learned to trust myself and love myself and lean on myself. And through that, my life started to reflect those things back at me. I started to attract people that I could trust and that I could lean on. I started to attract financial security because I knew that I could trust myself in pursuit of it. There were so many things outside of me that started to change when that inner world started to change. So what I'm trying to get at is I keep saying whether or not you realize it, this is happening, because even if it doesn't seem like it's happening outside of you, there are these changes that you are going through within that are forcing you to view things differently, to face parts of yourself that maybe you didn't really want to face, or maybe you don't fully love yet or fully know yet. And you're having to do this through pretty challenging circumstances, I'm not going to lie, but through this process, you are slowly transforming and slowly changing. And as you do that, your life is going to catch up with that transformation. Man, deeply spiritual reading for sure. And it feels pretty personal. I feel like it's interesting because my collective is growing, but some of my readings keep becoming a little bit more personal. So, I don't know. All right, current energy for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius needs to know? Justice. Justice will be served. That's what I heard when I pulled that card. Karma is a very real thing. And we have to learn that the people, I think we get so caught up on how the people who have hurt us are going to pay and waiting for that day. I really have learned that the best revenge is a life well lived. I talk a lot with my spiritual coaching clients about closure and creating a better life for yourself outside of the things that have happened for you. And if we wait for the things that have hurt us to provide us with a level of closure, we will be waiting for forever. This is like redemption for yourself. Like, this is almost like not just Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy, but this is like showing the people in your life who have hurt you, the things that have brought you down, that it isn't going to hold you back, and that those things aren't going to determine who you become, and that those people don't have a say in your ability to be happy or loved. I don't know if redemption's the right word, but it just feels like this is the time period in your life where you've done the burning, right? You have been burning. The phoenix rising from the ashes, the first step in that is the burning, and you've been doing that. And now, through that process, you've grown stronger and you've grown wiser and you've grown more loving and compassionate because, you've really hurt on such deep levels. And now it's time to allow yourself to take steps in the direction of believing that you can be happy and you can be loved and you can experience abundance. This inner transformation that you've been through has been so extreme that I feel like as you come out on the other side of it, you might not even really know. You might have to relearn yourself what it is that you want and what it is that you are deserving of. But I feel like right now is a time of, kind of getting selfish almost. And not selfish to the extent where you are hurting other people, but selfish to the extent of you've never really asked yourself, what do you want? What do you deserve? What can, if it is within your control to create the life of your dreams, what is within your power to do that? And how can you show up for that version of yourself? Current energy for Sagittarius. Three of Wands. You're out of your comfort zone right now, but it's not a bad thing. There's a lot that's outside of your control, and that's actually where the universe can do its best work, is when you're not controlling. So allow yourself to kind of let go. It's literally let go and trust. That's kind of the key of this reading. I feel like I'm trying to explain a lot about the energy that you're going through, and you might be like, well, what do I do? What can I do? What is the guidance? And I think ultimately it just comes down to letting go and trusting, and understand that there's so much going on behind the scenes and so much going on within you. And although you're not directly seeing it in the world around you yet, that's eventually going to happen. That's just kind of the way that it goes whenever you heal and you grow. And it takes time, and it doesn't happen in the ways that you think, but it will happen whenever you allow yourself to just be where you're at. When I was going through the hardest period of my life, things didn't change until I just surrendered to where I was at, where I was able to say, okay, this is my life, and I'm done trying to avoid the truth of what my life is, and I'm going to start to accept it for what it is. Not give up and stop trying to move forward, but stop trying to control every single thing about it. And the more that I let go and I leaned on the universe, the more that my life did change for the better. And so that's why, I think that I look back at that dark period of my life, and I literally think that was one of the best things to ever happen to me. And I don't think that, I know that period of my life was one of the best things to ever happen to me, because the person that I came out as on the other side of the burning is someone that I would not be able to experience being today if I hadn't have gone through those things. And I feel like that's what you're going to see as you start to move forward into this energy, which again, it's not going to happen overnight. It might take time, but it is bound to happen. So what does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? This is a very spiritual reading for sure. So I don't know if it's really gonna resonate for everyone. Woof! Wow. King of Wands, Emperor, Ten of Pentacles. Here's the rising. This is you rising from the ashes right here. It's like stepping into your power. It's like this, it's regaining your power and getting it back tenfold. I've been through a lot of situations in my life, relationships, failed career paths that I felt rendered me powerless. I got to the end of those things and I felt like I had nothing. But from the growth and the lessons that I learned through those processes, through the process of overcoming those challenges, I became more powerful than I was before those things happened. This is what this energy is about. This burning that you've been going through is specifically so you can step into your power in this way, and look at what it creates. The Ten of Pentacles, this is literally the pieces falling into place. This is everything coming together for you in a way that is even, I feel like, beyond what you can fully understand right now. So you are absolutely Phoenix. This is Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy, but the burning has to take place, and the burning, it takes, the amount of time that it needs to take, because the rising from the ashes is, again, is kind of that reward for the resilience, for leaning into faith, for trusting the process, which is not always easy to do. I'm not going to sit here and say that any of this stuff is easy. If it were easy, I wouldn't have a job, and everyone would do it. All right, immediate future for Sagittarius. Four of Pentacles. There's a Three of Pentacles. So there's and then the Four of Swords. Okay. This is like this energy of rebuilding. And I feel like that's the hardest thing, is when our life changes, and really before our life levels up, we kind of experience this phase where everything, it feels like we lose a lot. Things crumble, we lose relationships, we struggle financially, just different things kind of happen. And the universe wants you to know you will rebuild. You will rebuild. Like, you have not lost your ability to be loved, happy, abundant, successful. You will rebuild. And I feel like what you need to know is you're going to rebuild in a way that's going to be sustainable, and is going to be better than you even expect. It's just that this process you're going through has to happen first. So trust finding the light in the darkness, understanding that, there is a lot of good on the other side of this. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it's painful. Change is painful. Transformation is painful. But it's always, always worth it in the end. And you might be like, I don't feel that way right now. I get it, I've been there. But seriously, in the end, it does always pay off. And you'll look back and you'll say, I'm so glad I went through that. All right, immediate future for Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? I like this. The Page of Swords. It's almost like getting your excitement for life back. Like, it's a childlike kind of energy of being joyful, being excited. Because, when we go through so much in life, it's kind of just, what's the point? I just got to get through the day. And we forget to be excited about the life that we truly desire. Because, again, we've gotten so used to survival, and this is the universe getting you out of survival. And you might be like, how is the universe getting me out of survival by forcing me to survive more? That's just kind of the way it goes. My life had to fall apart for it to fall back together in a way that was better than I ever expected. And if there's anything that I've learned, that is typically the case. When things leave our life, when phases and paths exit our life, it is only to open the path to new and better. But the grief and the pain and the loss and all the things that we have to go through in order to get to the other side is what ultimately allows us to create those good things. So there's always a purpose for the things that we're experiencing. There's always a purpose for our pain, as long as we are willing to see it through that lens. That's the hardest thing, I think, for anybody, is to be willing to say, okay, this sucks and I have no idea how, but I am willing to do the best I can to see this as to be open to how this is happening for me and how I can transmute this into something positive, because the universe is saying you can. I mean, this is very abundant, very powerful, very exciting energy. Like, that's what this Page of Swords feels like. It's excitement. It's not just rebirth. It's like regaining your like zest for life, I guess is a good way of putting that. Kind of gaining that back, because you've been through an incredibly tough period. And I feel like this is about, first of all, understanding there's nothing you can do to just snap yourself out of this, okay? There's nothing you can do to just make this speed by. There are things you can do to surrender to the process and kind of allow yourself to navigate each and every moment as it comes so that you can stop trying to force it and fight it and resist it. For a long time, I tried to resist the changes that were taking place in my life and to hold on to what could have been, what should have been, what would have been. And that kept me in the darkness for even longer. And the more that we kind of let go and allow the process to take place, allow the burning to take place, the more that we move toward that rising from the ashes kind of energy, which is what this is. And I love it for you because I feel like it's been a long time coming. I feel like you are absolutely 100% deserving of it. I think that this is just more one of those readings of keep the faith, Sagittarius. I know, I often get comments, why would I keep the faith after all this time, blah, blah, blah. I get it. And I can't say that I've, I understand each and everything that each and every one of you are going through, but I can say that I've been in this place where I have been so angry at the universe for the life that I was living, and now I look back at it and I am grateful for that period. So, and that's not just happened once, that's happened a few times in my life. So I really do feel like this is the universe saying, trust, just have faith, keep the faith, and you're going to get through this, and not just through this, but things are going to be better because of this. You might not understand how that's even possible, but I do very much feel that as you move forward. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended, where I'm going to focus on what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. This is what you need to know. The extended is what you can do. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. I do feel like it was a very specific reading, so I'm hoping it resonated for some of you out there. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.